All right, it is 1:15 I'm Victoria Rubadiri. We interrupt your normal programming for live updates of the ongoing anti-government protests happening across the country. We have eyes all over. And of course, this is now the third round of the anti-government protests that have been going on. The opposition saying they will continue this each week from Wednesday all the way to Friday. We have our very own Seth Olale standing by at Jacaranda Grounds, which is one of the three convergence points given by the anti-government protest organizers. Seth, what can you tell us what's happening there now?
Well, right now we have a multi-security agency drawn from the Nairobi area headquarters that is trying to contain the anti-government protesters. What we know is that a while ago, they were able to overcome or overpower the anti-riot police officers from the General Service Unit. But right now we have an additional deployment of police officers here at the Jacaranda Grounds because it became so tense that the one lorry truck that had the police truck that had actually brought in about 25 police officers to contain the crowds here seemingly left, and the police officers had to call for backup in order to contain the protesters. And as Mathare can be able just to zoom in a bit, you can see the anti-government protesters are on that other far end, about 200 meters from where we are. And right here we have the first line of the security forces just trying to really put them at bay. What we know is that between this particular stretch, we are at the Soweto neighborhood here at the Jacaranda Grounds. The protesters earlier on managed to barricade roads here. This particular area was a no-go zone. As you can see on my right, there's still bonfire lit over here. These are tires and some of the garbage just being found around the Jacaranda area, and this has been the cycle of events since 9 a.m. when these particular youths or goons attempted just to cross over the other side onto the Jacaranda estate, but the police have been able to put a buffer zone between this particular ground, the Jacaranda Grounds, and some of the neighborhood and the establishments at this particular place. And so right now it was very chaotic before this multi-agency security team, additional teams came at this particular point, because as you can see right now is that they're now trying to ease off traffic, and they're trying also to give access to this particular road because this area was completely barricaded by the anti-government protesters. Movement is really restricted because a while ago a border operator got his motorcycle taken away from him, and they attempted to set it ablaze, but luckily the police just came right on time and were able to rescue this particular motorcycle, and eventually it was handed over to the operator. So the well-wishers who are residents here of Soweto just now trying to assist police officers in just trying to now ease off this particular roadway, which leads all the way from the Soweto neighborhood, village, and all the way to Jacaranda slums. Many businesses remain closed since morning. They just don't want to be caught in between what has been running battles between the police and security agencies here at this particular densely populated neighborhood. From a distance, you can see some of the residents just keeping off. They're being told to keep off as much as possible so as not to be found in between this particular confrontation engagement between police officers and anti-government protesters. So we're just keeping here, and we're just trying to get, even as the action unfolds. It has been quite an intense action, and especially from morning. Residents here from some of these apartments, some of these 4, 3, 5, 6-story buildings at Soweto village, just watching from a distance, but they're being told that it is really a risky affair, and they're being told by the security officers just to keep away as much as possible because anything could happen. What we know is that the anti-government protesters have been engaging the police officers using majorly stones, while the police have been responding by lobbing those tear gas canisters. So right now, they're now trying to clear this road again. This should be actually the 5th time they are doing this since 9 a.m. This has been the situation here. The police are trying as much as possible to make sure the anti-government protesters do not cross this particular buffer zone. So in between, they're being told it's a no-go zone. Earlier on, we were able to see a GK police van being commandeered by some of the protesters from this particular point up to the middle of this particular Jacaranda grounds, because before the additional anti-riot police officers came and managed to take hold and command of this particular motor vehicle. Also, earlier on, we were able to see a number of arrests being made here at the Jacaranda grounds and its surrounding. Those who have been found guilty or culpable have been driven away. So have been detained in those particular cars and later on transferred to the various police stations. So we're just here and trying to get to see what will unfold, how long this standoff will be. But as far as security agencies are concerned, they're making sure that minimal distraction, if not none at all, is witnessed from this particular standoff between them and the protesters here at the Jacaranda grounds.
Okay, Seth, quickly, before I let you go, I hope you can hear me. You mentioned arrests a bit earlier on in the day. We saw reports of some journalists being arrested. Do you have any information on that?
Well, the one that has officially been communicated was one photojournalist from the media outlet African Uncensored. We were part of this particular coverage earlier on in the morning, and when this particular incident unfolded, it's when the security officers decided to engage the anti-government protesters further inside the estates in order to ease movement and also protect some of the businesses that had been open since then. So for us, we were behind the police officers and we were advancing towards the protesters. So it was just at that particular moment when we were informed that in fact one photojournalist has been detained by, we're not very sure if it was the police officers or whoever, but what we know is that that communication has been posted by that particular media outlet's official social media page, and it's also one of the leads we are following here, just to ascertain further what could have happened and what is the situation so far.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Seth Olale there from Jacaranda grounds, giving us an update from what has transpired since morning. Arrests and, of course, police keeping anti-government protesters at bay. That was one of the 3 convergence points that was announced by the anti-government